So, pastors, I guess we owe Jeffrey Epstein an apology because all that was made up. It's a hoax.
Somebody should have told him.
Like what happened?
Nobody told him. It was all a hoax.
It was all a dream.
Because everybody was talking about it. It was a big deal. And now all of a sudden Trump get up and say.
It's not anymore.
It's a hoax.
It's a hoax.
My dude.
That dude is a one of a kind.
My dude.
He is a one of
I think Shane Gillis, the white guy from the ESPYs, he said, I wish somebody had told Jeffrey Epstein that before he unalived himself. Is that what we're allowed to say online now?
Unalived.
Yeah. We're allowed to say unalived himself.
That is a religiously incorrect
That's
word.
the religiously incorrect way of saying it, which reminds me of a Norm Macdonald joke.
Oh my God, here we go.
This is actually a good one.
This is going to be a show, y'all.
This is actually a good one because he said, wouldn't it be funny as a prank if, and of course he was using the other word back in the day because it was some years ago. He was like, wouldn't it be a prank, a good prank if you unalived yourself and wrote a note and just blamed a random person?
Oh, wow.
Like your barber.
Why?
Because you like leave them with guilt. You know what I mean? Because the police show up to their job and like, hey, do you know Todd? Yeah, he offed himself because of you. The person is just, you're laughing this time.
No, I'm laughing because how stupid it is.
You're laughing this time, I see.
Listen, y'all.
That is a good prank, though. Like, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it funny.
That's not a good prank.
It is.
It is not a good
I would blame
prank.
a random person. I would blame like another pastor.
They might go to jail.
Maybe. No, not if I did it to myself. I'm just putting the guilt on them for the rest of their life.
They have to live with that all.
That's the point.
No, that's not funny.
That's the joke.
That's cruel. That's wicked.
That's wicked.
That's wicked.
I ain't even know Pastor Todd.
Somebody's been. That's the whole point. The whole point is they don't see it coming.
That's wicked.
It is wicked. I see somebody's been listening to my sermons today.
I have to give a couple shout outs as we start this day out.
Okay.
First shout out I want to give up to is Pastor Harrison in the walk. What do you have, a walkathon today, something?
He didn't walk. He was on his little scooter. You don't get no respect from me, President Harrison. He had all the saints out there walking in the heat. And he in a golf cart.
I didn't know that.
Well, you know he had the knee thing or whatever.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right,
Sorry,
Pastor.
Mr. President.
It's all right, Pres. It's all right.
So go ahead with your shout out.
The orange one didn't walk either.
Yeah, he didn't walk either. So go ahead with your shout out.
The second shout out was to the 70 people that got saved at the Northside Pool and all the pastors who came out.
Citywide baptism.
The citywide baptism. Shout out to all the pastors that came out, and shout out to especially pastors who wore t-shirts and tank tops instead of just trying to be buff.
Are you trying to throw a shot at Pastor Bowie?
Pastor Bowie was
He
buff.
always wears the muscle shirts, doesn't he?
I don't know. He might.
He's swole.
Bowie swole. And then
shout out to, since you're doing that, we do have to shout out our brother Daryl Jones, who organized it.
Absolutely.
He had the vision last year to do it.
Absolutely.
So love to our brother, our Youngstown brothers and pastors.
Absolutely. Great job. Then I want to shout out, it was somebody else before, I got one more. It was somebody, last week, the Pastor Simon and the Stop the Violence. Stop the Violence, they started that. And then,
why aren't you keeping a straight face?
Because I'm just looking at you. I'm looking at you. No, I'm serious. I mean, I didn't get to make it this time. Usually I'm there. Matter of fact, I'm there all the time.
You weren't trying to go, man.
I had to work. That's the only reason I wasn't there.
I'm going to just say, I share your shout out. And at the same time, I no longer believe in marching in it about anything. I'm saying, I'm anti-march now.
Why? Well, before we go into the anti-march, let me get my last shout out.
Get your last shout out.
I want to. My last shout out is to Pastor Todd, Sister Leah, and my wife Tiffany, and what's y'all names?
Warren Forward.
City
Leaders Program.
The City Leaders for taking the youth to Washington D.C. A tremendous experience. Just from what my son told me, he really enjoyed himself, and so just for them to get to experience that, that's just phenomenal.
It was phenomenal. We got to meet Cory Booker.
Right.
We went to his office and he popped in and spoke to us. That was a thrill.
That was dope.
Where was your
was
representative
dope.
at? Just
I'll tell you, both of our Ohio representatives' offices were reached out to long in advance. One, Mr. Moreno, never responded at all. Wow. Senator Moreno never responded at all to the delegation from Ohio. Senator Houston responded and then canceled on us. But we did have the privilege of watching him walk out on the Senate floor and vote down funding for public broadcasting, emergency notifications, and foreign aid, and walk back out the door. So, we got a chance to see that. So at least we got to see our representative cancel Big Bird and Elmo and Daniel Tiger. That's wicked.
That's wicked. Complete.
That's wicked. But I mean, it was a great experience. A shout out. We do have to give credit where credit's due. We went along for the ride. Leah made all the calls and set this stuff up, and booked the hotel an hour from the. From DC.
I heard that your driving is different.
My driving is the bomb.
I don't know.
I whipped that 15-passenger van all the way to DC, around DC.
Do I gotta tell my driving story?
Do a little zig and a zag.
I do.
Oh Lord.
Do I gotta tell my
How else is
story?
there to drive?
Do I gotta tell my
Straight.
Cedar Point story? Do I
Tell
gotta tell
it.
my Cedar Point story that we
Y'all
almost-
alive? Is everybody alive? No, I mean I'm a city driver, but I had never had to take a van into that. But I whipped it, man.
Let me tell y'all. Let me tell y'all about Todd believes that he's Todd no matter where we're at. He believes that the cops ain't gonna stop. And here
told
in
me-
Warren,
God told me I'm Todd no matter where I'm
here
at.
in Warren, they don't stop him. They won't stop him.
They will.
know who he is.
They will.
You're not Todd. They don't care about you being Todd in Washington D.C. They don't.
I'm a much safer driver than I was, years ago. But you got to know how to make your way.
I heard the grapevine. You were getting everywhere 10 minutes early.
Somebody was getting us out of there 10 minutes late. So maybe they need to tell the rest of the story. But no, it was a great experience, and thank you for the shout out. You got to bring your mic a little closer, Mo. You got to bring it right up.
Okay, so go back to the you don't believe in marching anymore.
I'm just saying I feel like times have changed, and methods, just like church, need to change. It takes a lot more mass movement, and I'm not so sure simply marching. I feel like those people who we have typically marched against have shifted their focus and directive, and they might have even gotten somewhat impervious. Like marching doesn't pressure people like it once did, and if it does, it's temporary. Look at how quickly the George Floyd protests have been undone and all of the progress from that. We would never have imagined that in the 60s when we got the civil rights bills passed. Like that was supposed to be a lasting thing. So I just feel like you're getting diminished returns, and it's hard to get folk out to march, man. People that think it's like career people that just want to march and tear stuff up. But as for like the quality people, so to speak, it's just harder because society has shifted to get people into the streets. So I just feel like there are other ways we could use our energy strategically to do that. That's just me.
I do believe that there are other ways, but I still believe in marching. I still believe in a good march. I still believe in.
I think it's performative at this point.
If it's a one-time march, yeah. But if it's like days.
Hey, when
on
we went to
end,
D.C., there was a tent across from the White House, and they said they've been out there protesting for 43 years. The same group.
For
what
what?
group?
And they,
I don't know the name of the group. It had a bunch of random sides, and they like have over time shifted up their
They probably should give it up.
their causes. And obviously the kids that were there were not 43 years old, but apparently it was the same group. Some protests for 43 years across the street.
So it's like they got a generational process.
Yeah, they just have the
Just
babies
pass-
right there in the tent.
How come this is like not well known?
Trust me, if you walked by the tent, you just thought it was like a homeless shack.
Yeah, something
It's not well
something is
known.
wrong with that march.
You know. So, but no, I mean, shout out to Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, you're trying to come back full circle on the hoax, man.
It's all fake. It's not real.
It's all fake, man. Do you think the list is ever gonna come out?
No.
Nope.
Never gonna see the light of day.
Never.
So, but here's the funny thing: not only is the list never gonna come out, but nobody is ever gonna be held to account for. Let's say there is no list. Let's just say there is no list, and let's say they're right. There is no list. So, but they were more than willing to lie about there being a list and claiming that it was on their desk as long as it was politically expedient and it could serve as an attack line for the MAGA people. That was perfectly fine to say that. But now that it's not, we're not at least going to say, I mean, because they didn't just say we heard there might be a list. Lady was like, it's on my desk.
On my desk, yeah.
Lady was like, it's on my
If
desk.
there are children involved, that list ought to come out. Some way, somehow. Somebody, they've leaked everything else in the world.
And MAGA does get an inkling of respect from me because a lot of them are not buying Donald Trump's story and they're not with it. And I would say that if you are a person, especially a person of faith who leans that way, and you're okay with this not coming out, and you're okay with the details not being known, then just stop talking about all this human trafficking concern and all this stuff you've made your cause, because that's the new evangelical cause for everybody is human trafficking and sex trafficking and all that. Well, if it doesn't matter at the highest levels, then it doesn't matter. I mean, what was that movie that came out about the guy rescuing the people and they were showing it in all the churches? It came out like the year before. It was like a movie and it really went in the evangelical. I forget who was in it. I think the old dude from the Passion was in it. Jim Caviezel or whatever his name was. But it was like literally selling tickets through the churches because human trafficking, this, that, and the other. If it is as important as we say it is, then it should be just as important when your president is involved.
Absolutely.
That's just what I say.
Absolutely.
I think that they're gonna have to do something because there's too much noise being.
Yeah, they're not
made.
going to stop making noise.
Yeah.
And maybe for the best. We finally found something we can agree on.
Right.
Abusing kids is something worth talking about no matter
Absolutely.
who gets
And if
caught
it
up.
does come out, it's gonna come out after he
It's
done.
not going to come out.
After he done.
It's not going to come out.
He ain't gonna let it come out while he here.
Right. Sister Jackie, there was no march in D.C. We just went to D.C. and took some kids. But I was saying that there was like a protest, literally like just people sitting in a tent across the street from the White House. They were just sitting there with signs.
For
basically.
48 years, apparently.
For 43.
Oh, 43.
200 victims, but apparently no perpetrators.
No perpetrators.
Right.
I love it. I love it. So welcome to Religiously Incorrect, everybody. It is Mo's birthday. Some of you already said happy birthday, but happy birthday, Mo. She is the
Thank
big 3-0.
Thank you.
She's the big 3-0.
I thought y'all were singing.
We're not, I mean,
Happy
I thought there was a song.
that is Sanford and Son. What are we doing?
That's not the song, but
I'm not singing happy birthday because as a pastor, we all know the rule that if you sing happy birthday to one, you got to sing it to everybody. And I'm just not
unless
getting
you
trapped
are
like
the
that.
church event coordinator.
I'm just not trying. Okay. She's back. She's back with these made up. Listen, let me tell you something. I look up the church member manual every week. I have yet to see the position of church event
Because somebody is not doing their
coordinator.
job.
You got
right?
you got to put it on there, Doc.
Like somebody's
You got to add too.
Listen,
You're not on the letterhead.
Pastor, nobody's doing their job apparently
You're not on the
because I am
letterhead.
the church event
Event
coordinator.
coordinator.
I said this how long ago?
We've had a lot of events without you coordinating
we
them,
don't,
though.
we
so I
don't,
know
we don't
how
know
good of a
how
job
long
you're
ago
doing.
this is because I haven't been on the show in about 5 years.
What's the last event you coordinated?
It don't matter.
You know what? If you want to make
millennial
it,
answer.
if you want to
That's
make
a
it,
millennial answer. It doesn't
Mo, if you
matter.
want to make it real, you can't say the church event coordinator anymore. You got to say I'm the CEC.
Okay.
I'm the CEC of the church.
No, you
know
have to say I'm the arch apostle of events.
If it's not abbreviated, it ain't,
You're right.
it ain't real.
You're right.
You know.
All right,
it
Mo.
ain't.
So first things first belongs to you. Give us your perspective on the big 3-0.
Okay, so 30 means
This child.
don't mean
He started off with this child.
don't mean that.
Lord
It means that at 30 years old, I officially get a new level of respect. Point blank, period. I'm not young. I'm not old. I am in that perfect level where I get a new level of top tier respect.
What does that mean exactly, though, to you? I mean, if you could put it into real world terms, what would this new level of respect look like, and how might it be different from the level of respect? And if you need to use a scenario, like what would be different from then to now?
So a lot of times I get told, well, you know, yesterday. I was getting told, you know.
Up until 11:59.
Like, you know, oh, girl, you know, you young, you know, you don't know, you don't understand, you this, you that. But now I feel like at 30, you cannot tell me that anymore because I
Okay.
understand.
You know what?
So-
I'm
so-
43, and I'm still listening to people say, "You young, you don't
See,
understand."
'cause I don't
When you
think
get my age,
you didn't demand it. I'm demanding at 30 years old, I get
I
a
don't have the
level of
energy.
respect.
I don't have the energy.
So this to me seems like the same thing that everybody does every year at New Year's Eve, as if
Like a resolution?
As if those 60 seconds at midnight is going to change your whole life around. As if those 60 seconds is going to make you automatically start losing weight. It's going to make you automatically.
It is.
I don't think that.
You're going to lose all your debt. You're going to, automatically you're going to
fitness in the
stop
morning.
cigarettes, stop
Right.
smoking cigarettes.
Right.
You're going to stop cheating on your spouse. You're going to do all that
Wait a
because
minute. What kind of resolution is that?
I'm saying these are New Year's Eve resolutions.
Who made that resolution?
Hey, I was there with you until you said that. But I'm saying that I
Back
feel like
up. Rewind.
really fascinating because like,
She said, I'm gonna stop cheating on my
like
spouse.
at 2026, I'm done cheating. Like
I'm
what?
gonna stop beating up hobos.
I just feel like now I can walk. I should and I will walk into
will.
a room and I will
Okay.
be like, listen, I'm not a child.
You're gonna start a lot more fights. That's what you're saying. That's what you're really saying.
I'm not a
Is that
child.
there's gonna be a lot more conflict in your 30th year than
no,
there was
this
in your
30 my
29th
30s
year.
will be great, okay? Because I'm gonna walk into rooms and now it's like
Just keep your phone on for YouTube's sake when you do that.
Let me tell you something.
I'm trying to explain it, babe.
So the question is, so you're demanding the respect. You're not saying you're going to get it, but you're saying that you're going to
Oh
demand
no,
it.
because I demand it, I'm gonna get it. Because I'm 30. Okay, I was just. This is not a joke.
I know it's not a joke.
That's exactly why we're laughing.
Listen, let me explain this.
You sound
Okay?
like my daughter turning 16, to be honest. I mean, that's the kind of speech she gave.
But like
You
that's-
only gonna respect me.
No,
I'm 16.
okay,
I'm like,
so-
all right, go wash the dishes.
I've been 16, and that don't really mean much.
That doesn't mean much,
You're
but
still,
30
you're still a
does.
kid, but at 30, I'm going to walk into a room, and you're going to give me the respect as an adult. No longer, oh, you're a child. You don't understand. No, I do understand because I'm 30. This is a new level. Like, this is exciting.
Mo, you get
I wish you all the
respect.
best.
You get respect and you get all the admiration, particularly here in Warren, because of all the things you have done, because of all the things you have already achieved. And you have achieved some great things.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be about your age.
Well, no, I have to tell you, I am oftentimes referred to as, girl, you a child. Sit down. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I hear that a lot, but I feel like now that I am 30.
I get it. I think I understand. I understand what you're saying, but I'll say that it is not so much your posture or position, but the fact that a lot of people around us are just stuck. Jason said Mo has goals and aspirations. There you go, Sister Jackie. Thank you for making it clear. Mo, you are going to hear that all your life as long as someone older asks you your age.
Yep.
That people, because I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, to me, it's I don't want to call it a power play in a way, but it's just like a marker for people that the way that they keep the, I guess, the dignity of their age is by diminishing someone an age younger than them. I mean, it's just, you can't make people get away from it. I mean, I can say with confidence that that's a big problem, that there is not genuine respect for adults who just happen to not be as older as some other adults, because that diminishing really does play a part in sort of cutting off the talent pool and the ideas and the initiatives that could be a blessing to all of us. But you just can't make people not think that way. And if you ask people, well, are you okay, with being stuck, and not accepting the adulthood of people, the answer honestly is yes. True. People would rather have like a mediocre existence and a lack of talent and skills at their disposal if it means they can keep their position, especially if age being the automatic signifier of position. That's the only, see, that's what let me put it like that. Age is the only automatic signifier of position. It's the only unearned signifier of influence, maturity, or whatever. Everything else you have to earn. But age is that one thing that anybody can lean on at any time. And sometimes it's true, like an old bum, with a sixth grade education is wiser sometimes than a 21-year-old with a master's degree. I mean, that there is some truth to that. But I also believe that creates problems for our community, and you'll be fighting a losing battle if you try to make this to your number one agenda for the next year. So more power to you.
You don't think at 30 you just earn a new level of respect? Like, for me, it literally feels like I earned
Age
this level.
ain't nothing but a number.
That's what
It
they
really
say.
ain't, because the simple fact is, honestly, don't nobody know how old you is.
Oh, they gonna know. They gonna
You
know.
gonna tell them?
You telling everybody, I'm
you got
30.
a necklace say 30. Dirty 30.
And just like all the old guys, boy, you still wet behind. I'm 52, and they still say, boy, you still wet behind the ears.
See, they
You're
ain't got no
still wet
business
behind
saying
it.
I got a pair of drawers over
But they
there.
want right. And I'd say
So
you're
okay, so am I at an age where I could actually speak up now? And it's not offensive because I'm an adult just like you.
no.
No, still not at the age.
You're not. People won't let that go. Now, I think we as a generation, and I guess the truth and the tale will be, will we be the ones to shift that narrative where we are willing to accept younger voices? Because a lot of our older peers have not accepted our voices. Now, we do have some wonderful people. I mean, I've had people who have allowed me to be their pastor since I was 30 years old. Mm-hmm. That's a great honor. I accept that. And they know that there are a lot of things that they'll always know more than me and better than me because they've lived longer than me. But they let me pastor them. Mm-hmm. But there are far more people letting me pastor them at 43 than it allowed me to pastor them at 30. And there will be far more people that would let me pastor them at 50 than pastor them at 43. Because honestly, the crossover is not really 30. It's actually like 45-ish. In black culture, the crossover is really like 45-ish, to be honest.
It really is.
Still a baby.
It just is what it is.
Not
I
just
didn't.
play.
What you say?
Look, I didn't come
Still
here
a
to get my
baby.
30-year-old
I'm
dream
just
shut
playing.
down. Like, wait a minute now.
We're not shutting your dream down. We're just, I guess, saving you some unnecessary
Heartache,
conversations.
right.
'Cause it's gonna come on. We've been there, Mo. We've been in the same
But
circles, and you
at
can.
29.
If you want to talk to a brick wall about being 30, you can, because you're gonna be talking to a lot of brick walls.
I just feel like now, and I feel like in your 20s, you can't demand certain things that you
Yes,
can.
you can. They don't have to listen to you, and they don't have to listen to you in your 30s either. You can demand whatever you want.
Now,
Everybody make demands.
Look, happy birthday, Mo.
Happy birthday, Mo.
we ain't done. But earlier during
About to get up and
pre-show,
walk out. I said what I wanted to say.
earlier during pre-show, we was talking about how 25-year-olds, 35-year-olds, 40-year-olds don't act like they did years ago.
Oh, let me talk about that. 30 in 2025 is not the same 30 10 years ago. It's not. I don't care what nobody say.
In what way?
Literally every way.
Give a specific way. That's
Okay,
not
so,
saying
like,
anything. I'm just saying every way is not saying
Listen,
anything.
like, so for example, like one of my like I say, one of the biggest things, like one of the good things is that I have a lot of like older people in my life, you know what I'm saying? Because they can tell me like, oh, you are young, blah, 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 whatever. But like also everybody who was 30 at the time that's in my life, they are married, kids, like, going to church faithfully, doing everything. And like now my age 30 is like, I don't want to say nothing, but it's like, it doesn't compare to what people were doing at 30, 15, 20 years
Your
ago.
generation of 30s do not take life as serious as we did. And I can say we did. And not all of us, because it was starting to change in my generation. But my wife and I were one of the ones who just hunkered down, got jobs, and started aspiring for those traditional markers of adulthood. And I think that's the problem, is there are certain traditional markers that have been associated with adulthood that people used to pursue earlier. And now, I will say that if you are 30 and you have not pursued that, there are probably some environmental and even family reasons for why you haven't, meaning that somebody enabled you to not pursue that. You had to have parents that was telling you, boy, if you're going to stay here past 18 or whatever, you're going to work. Grown folk, you say, when you going to get married, settle down. You can't do this all your life. But 45 and 50 and 60-year-old people can't say that when they're living the same way, or when they're enabling because they got this weird thing about keeping their kids in the house, which is something that I've watched a lot of parents trying to keep their kids in the house, or at least up under them, even if they have their own space. It's like we're supposed to live our life like intertwined together way into your 30s. And then they wonder why the kid never really does, or they don't care if the kid never really does get independent. So there's been a societal change of expectations. As long as nobody's pressuring you to grow up, you won't. As long as nobody's pressuring you to grow up, you won't. But if you live in a world where you feel like you're being left behind if you don't do this, or you'll get kicked out if you don't do this, then that puts a different pressure on you. So if all my friends are linking up in a serious way, starting to make the kind of money that you can buy a house and a car with and live a life with, and I'm not, I'm the odd man out. But if I'm living in a social, situation where most people are still just kicking it, pushing 30, sometimes pushing 40. There's no societal pressure. Where's the pressure?
It's still, for me, it's still quite confusing because most of the people like in my age range or whatever, the parents that they had, they're married. Like they come from married households and they come
That's
from
another part of
that.
it. Right.
So like for me, it's kind of odd to come from that type of household, but then like not actually want to do it.
I will say from an example, I will say to your point, I don't mean that, Jeff, you want to jump in, but that has played a part, and I don't want to be unfair, but the existence of more single mothers has, over time, even though, by the way, numbers are a little skewed, it's not as much as you think it is, but because it's become more accepted, those single mothers tend to keep their kids with them longer into adulthood. Whereas mother-father households tended to push, mostly the father, push people out into life, and so that's been a tragedy. I mean, I've literally preached a funeral of young men who died, and the story I got was they weren't even supposed to be here. The mama wanted them to stick around because that was the only man in their life. Or the young lady is the mama's best friend, kind of a situation where we're so tight. I can't imagine you being in another city, working a job, going to college where I don't get to see you every day. And that pressure, and I'm not saying it's the whole story, I'm saying it's a piece, I think, of the story of people not getting out. Because if you were in a full house, there was only so much room for so many people, and you had to go.
And to that, I think that the dynamic has shifted. And it's just me, what I see. I don't have any statistics, but it seems to me now that the two-parent households actually want their kids, would rather the kids stay home instead of going out, making debt, causing debt, getting in trouble and things of that nature. For me,
I can respect that.
For me,
if
when
that's
I was
the goal, though.
Yeah, for me, when I was 18, I knew,
right,
I got to get out of here. I'm leaving.
Right.
Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. As soon as I turned 18, and I left when I was 17.
Right.
So, but now I think that's what it is. The parents are now, they're not like pushing their kids. It's like, stay here as long as you need to stay here. Matter of fact, if you get married and they get on your nerves, you still got the key to the house.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that literally in my generation, you meet people who come from a two-parent home, but yet still they're not looking to get married.
The social pressure isn't there.
That's what you think?
There's no social pressure there. I mean, literally, our parents grew up literally on songs like "Going to the Chapel," "Gonna Get Married." I mean, that was like the expectation. Nobody wanted to be the odd person out. If you didn't have a date to the prom 50 years ago, you were crushed.
Nowadays, that's normal.
Nowadays, it's right.
So I don't know if either you could answer this question, but you can give an opinion. Do you
It's
think
the topic now, Glenn, because Mo's taking over the show. So. The show's called Happy Birthday Mo. So whatever she wants to talk about, apparently that's what we're talking about.
Seriously, I don't know if either one of you can answer this, but do you think it's in this generation, my generation, do you think it's the men or do you think it's the women? Because to me, both generations is kind of just messed up.
They don't want to get married?
No, just like
that are to blame for this circumstance.
Yes, do you think it's the men or the women?
I always say it's the women because the women hold all the cards. Okay. Men will do what women demand, and men will live up to women's expectations. If the expectations are low, and that sounds like an old joke, but if it's, giving away the milk and buy the cow, whatever they say, if that's the reality, if you will accept a man who lives in his mother's house and does not have his own car and he's dateable to you, sleepable to you, have a kidable with you,
have a kidable
3, 4, 5 times down the chain. I mean, women hold all the cards.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it. Women hold all the cards. We will do what our female counterparts demand that we do. I blame the women.
Who do you blame?
That's a good question because I have so many family members who, and I'm just my family who, the man is just like, I ain't getting married. Don't marry her, bury her.
Oh,
I'm a player. That's just I'm a big player.
Can be. It's because they can be. They'll never run out of women to be with. If there were no women out there, or there was such a much smaller pool, or the pool was, let's just be honest, undesirable is the best word I can come up with. But let's be clear, the people that they're being a player with are business women that have their own, fine women. It's not like they're going in gutters and doing this. That's not happening. And so,
but women nowadays are saying two can play that game.
They want that too.
Yes, women nowadays are saying saying two can play that game.
So I have another question. So when they do meet nowadays, when they meet a woman and she's pretty much checking off all these boxes, is it a cop out when they say things like "you're intimidating"? Is that a cop out?
Say that again.
You're intimidating.
When a man says, you check mark all these boxes, you go to church, ain't got no kids, blah, 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 clean, blah, 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 whatever. And then they say, but you're intimidating. Is that a cop out? Or is that a real man reason to not decide to try to pursue a woman? Or is that a cop out?
I'm too old for this question.
Listen, I'm out. I mean, I ain't never been in the game. I wouldn't even know.
I want to ask Big Mike over here.
I just want to know.
We both been married 20
I
years.
think it is a cop out. I mean, at face value, I do
Leah
think
said
it's
yes.
a cop out. And what they're really saying is something else, which is, I don't want to live in that world.
Okay.
I don't want to live in the church going, stable household, go to work, come home, pay the bills, kind of world. They're saying I don't want to live in that. So intimidating is they're not intimidated by the person, the female, so much as they are by the situation that they're expected to live up to. So it is a cop out in a way. And they're really just telling you their true feelings. It's not what I want. This is not what I want, or to be frank, some people might be saying it's what I want, but I don't want it with you.
Or
could be
is
saying
it
that.
that
Just not that into you.
Just not in you. That's
or is it that they just scared because they can't meet the expectations?
In a way, that reminds me of faith in a way, because there's a lot of guys that say, man, I ain't come to church, man, I ain't ready to live all like that.
I
And in
agree-
a way,
I agree
Not
with
even
Mike.
just church.
I agree with
I'm
what
saying
you
it reminds
said,
me
Mike.
of church.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It reminds me
I agree
of
what you
church.
said.
Like how people know they're not serious.
Right.
So they're like, I ain't gonna come up in there playing.
Gotcha.
And there are people that look at a female the same way. I know I ain't serious. Like, I know I've been into a chick that quick. As soon as I meet somebody else, and I didn't build this whole house with somebody just to mess it off. So I almost respect that, because at least they're being honest on the front end. And I'm sure you and many other young ladies have met plenty of guys that will fake the funk for a minute and pretend like that's what they want when they're really willing to lay down with anything, no matter how good it is at home.
Right.
So
And I mean, if you have standards, and this is what I'm saying, I agree with Mike. If you have standards, if you have it all together, a lot of guys, they're just not even gonna try to, if you go, say I go get a car, I go get a car right now, and they try to take me to see a Corvette. I'm like, that's out of my price range. Take me back over there to the
Malibu's. The Dodge Johnson special.
take me. Well, don't even show me those, because that's not my price range. And some of us, we look at the girls, they out of my price range.
Ooh, look at
I was trying to read. I couldn't see.
Leah says, we are in a generation that for the first time men have to be wanted, not needed. A lot of times men got over because women needed them, and this reality has been hard for many men to negotiate because we have our own and we'll bounce.
Wow.
I don't know.
That is true.
I just feel like we always need a man in some type of aspect.
In some type of aspect.
We always need a man.
But you don't have to have one to live your life.
Well, when you
but-
say you need a man, is it
'Cause
do I need him for a certain thing, or can I just have him and let him go? Can I use him?
You need a man. Sorry.
Okay,
the Bible literally says a man is not independent of a woman.
So no disrespect to you or trying to say anything, but at this point in time, you don't have a person in your life.
Correct. Right.
You're living, right?
I am.
Your bills are paid.
Correct.
You have a job. You travel and go out and do things that you like to do.
Oh Lord, yes.
when you want to do it.
You don't need a man.
No, yes I do. I'm sorry. I am not the one. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Testify.
I am not the woman to say I do not need
But
a
in
man.
the way that
Why
Leah
though?
is saying for your existence, not for your existential.
Honestly, and I think that's the problem. Is
reality.
that listen, Leah, love you, girl, but I think that's the problem. As women, so hell bent on, I don't need a man. Yes, we do.
Well, but what I'm saying,
Yes, we do.
but what she's saying is, in that day, she's talking about with our parents. Let me clarify.
Okay.
The woman literally would not have
Right.
if it weren't for the man.
Right.
He worked. Even if she worked, it was not nearly as much as what he made. The cars. I still come from that generation. I mean, literally, and I'm not saying this in a braggadocious way, and some of you would think it's outdated and all that. You would. Like, I go out and just get the car. That's the George Johnson way. Now, a couple of times she makes little demands, but to this day, I ain't did it yet. I go to the car dealer, it's time to turn in the lease, and I come home with a car. Now, I know that is archaic. I know that some of y'all gonna get on Shamika and say, "Don't you let him pick out no more cars." But
Yes,
that's been my whole life because we come from that strata. And I'm not saying Shamika would not have a car if it wasn't for me, but I am saying that generations live that way. And what Leah is saying is that men got off with women needing them for their very existence, and it wasn't that different. Honestly, up to about 50 years ago, 45 years ago, it was not too terribly different from literally like old school ancient times where the family was marrying off the woman basically because they knew that was the only way that she'd be taken care of. Get you a man so that you can get out my house because you ain't doing it yourself. You know what I mean? So you're right. You need a man, but really what you're really saying is you want a man.
Nope, need. Nope. I said what I said. I said what I said.
I said what I said.
Like, so do you guys think that women have become too independent?
In some ways.
Too independent?
Too independent.
In some ways.
Women became too independent?
I think the mentality doesn't always match the reality. I think that's the bigger problem.
Okay.
A lot of women think independent when they're really not. And they treat men as if they're independent when they're really not. And sometimes in marriages. Because remember, even those of us that are in marriages, long-term marriages, we are still living in a society that has shifted around. So I'll give you a perfect example. I'm that man that Leah's talking about. I still want to be wanted. Now, I just don't walk around with that entitlement anymore. Like, I just sit down, grab a beer, sit down, and I just worked and da-da-da-da-da. Like, you know, we think more about our emotions and mental and all this other stuff, our feelings. I don't know how much my grandpa cared about what his wife, I hope she's thinking about me, you know, I mean, that kind of stuff. I know it's a human thing, but I'm just saying we were taught to live a certain way, and now that's breaking down in a way. But I'm doing it from a different perspective where I'm not playing this, you know, what are we bringing to the table and half this and half that and all that. I still feel like if my wife did not have a job, it would be on me, struggle or not, to make it work. Where a lot of fellas, younger and some older, don't think that way.
Well, my wife has worked 20 years we've been married and she's never paid a bill.
Go
not
ahead,
one.
Tiffany.
And not because she doesn't have money, you know, I mean, she, you know, does what she wants to do and, you know, she pays and buys clothes and, you know, goes out to dinner, whatever she wants to do. But that's just the generation that we came from.
No, I sincerely, because
You need a time machine, Mo. That's what I'm trying to say. You need a DeLorean.
Because I sincerely believe that females in my generation have just become try to be too masculine. Just like, I got it all. I can fix the roof and I can fix the car and I can take out the trash. I can't do it. I can't.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, why do you need a man?
Because you can't.
So you need somebody to kill the spiders in the house. You need somebody to shovel the driveway. You need somebody to cut the grass. So that's
so you just got spiders all over your house, right?
Right now, I can't go kill a spider. Like,
she's down to one room. She's like, there's a spider in every room. All I got is my kitchen left.
Listen, I need a man to carry in the groceries, take out the trash, cut the grass.
Okay.
I need it.
We feel it.
But biblically, wasn't it? We was always taught, you know, when you're taking this woman away from the covering of her mother and her father, you now become that
are the covering.
You are now you are now responsible for that woman and all her needs.
Right.
So I get, like, it just still points back to where did the breakdown happen? Like, at what point did I just feel like it collapsed.
After me and Todd. Everybody after me and Todd messed up.
It fell apart. Man.
Everybody after me and Todd, the world died.
But let me say, it goes back to our societal expectations, and I believe it all ties together. And I keep saying this to our generation, that it's an ecosystem that hits the family, the community, you know, obviously your church and spiritual life. It's an ecosystem. And when you start letting them break down different parts of it, it all collapses. And so there were, again, the social, spiritual expectations. Somebody was holding you to something. And I actually do have a little bit of admiration and envy for those religious contexts that still hold people to those traditional values. I'm talking your Mormons, Muslims, because Christianity is one of the only major religions that is just like, whatever. We don't mind calling the family, single moms. Muslims like, no, it's not supposed to be like that.
Right.
Mormons like, no, it's not supposed to be like that. Like, we're the only ones like still, just kind of flowing with the wind a little bit. But I will say that I believe that we live in a cycle of overreactions. I believe that in every phase of life. That's one of my theories about life in the modern era, is that we live in seasons of overreactions, meaning we go from being overly needy to overcorrecting to not wanting to come off as needy at all. We go from being willing to put up with a Rolling Stone. In previous generations, that's what a lot of people, my wife and I's age, said. Well, I grew up with the daddy or the granddaddy who had 2 families, and he just ran my grandmama ragged, and they just did what they wanted, and nobody said anything about it, blah, 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 blah. But the overcorrection comes in. I'm not going to put up with nothing from nobody. If anybody makes me unhappy for a minute, I'm talking like we just ain't vibing. Just stuff that's like totally vague. Like, right, you're not even talking about fidelity anymore. You're just talking about we don't vibe this month. And now it's over. And my happiness comes first, right? Let's go back to the family thing. If the families are more single, now you have a different dynamic about a woman who already has kids. She's going to 9 times out of 10 put those kids before any man, including in marriage.
Absolutely.
Including in marriage. Yeah. They will say, if you come between my husband and the kids I had before the husband, I'm putting the kids first. But again, that usually wouldn't happen the same way if it was husband first and then kids.
Right.
And I know that creates a trap. I understand that creates a bit of a prison trap that, again, we're trying to overcorrect ourselves out of. But what we created is a bit of a chaos that now we have people like yourself sitting here and more like you who don't speak up the same way, who are saying, all right, well, now the options are so slim, the expectations are so different, and very few people are looking in the same direction anymore.
Right.
Yeah, everybody, the only way you can have a society where people are getting married is everybody's looking towards marriage as a goal.
Yeah, so like, Leah, I seen Leah said in the comments, she said, I'm setting us back.
You are setting us back.
I'm saying, y'all, I'm setting women back 20 years. But, like, so let's talk about a biblical standpoint. Do you believe that a woman does not need a man, or a man
I
does
don't
not
believe
need
that
a
at
woman?
all. The Bible
So, like,
says plainly we need each other.
Exactly.
It is not good for man. I keep telling you, the first problem man had was not sin, it was loneliness.
Loneliness.
God said so. It's not good for man to be alone.
This transition happened that I just don't like about it. I don't need a man. I could do this, I could do that, I could do that. But just because you can do it, do you really
Go
want
with Jackie's
to?
comment. Jackie said that doesn't mean you need a man. You just ask a man to cut your grass and shovel your snow.
Nope, still need
Listen. First of all, that's gonna be a transaction. First of all,
Right.
First of all,
because let me tell
that's
you,
gonna be a transaction.
I pay for my grass every week, every 2 weeks. I'm tired of paying for it.
But I'm saying one way or another, it's gonna be a transaction.
Well, Mo,
That grass. Let's see if that grass is high.
Cash. Listen,
I got some rhymes I can give y'all.
Grass, cash.
religiously incorrect. We're gonna leave that alone.
This is the name of the show. But I feel the pain, and I feel for men and women because I have met young men. And here's the funny thing, and you know this, Mo. You know this. We've had this conversation. There have been times when I have heard a young man saying the same thing you're saying, and I'm like, hey, Mo, there's this fella talking like you're talking. You look up that Facebook page
and find out.
So, yeah. So, I guess here's my thing is, are we just less tolerant of each other, period, where nobody is willing to accept other people's imperfections and problems?
That's a good point.
Well, I think
We're just less tolerant.
I think we'll accept them, but I think we're also.
I don't think we will.
I think we're also to the point where we're saying, you know what? Instead of buying, I'm going to lease with an option to buy. I'm going to see how it work out. If this don't last,
anybody that knows about leasing knows that's probably one of the worst arrangements you could be in, unless you plan on having a new car every 3 years.
Honestly, what I can say though is this generation does not accept a lot of just nonsense, like quick, immediately. Like,
But that's not true though. That's not true.
You don't think that's true?
Your entire generation is nonsense. I mean, just about everything about what y'all do is not, I'm not saying good people who are thinking straight. I'm saying the vast majority has accepted nonsense as a standard.
But
you
no,
got 30 and 40-year-old women fighting over men in clubs. You've got people who will leave their kids at home, like I said today, to go to Miami and have a good time. You got nonsense. You got people who will quit a job that they need at the drop of a dime and wonder why they have no health care, no pension built up, no nothing. Nonsense, unfortunately, is the standard of the day at this point.
But I do agree with Mo.
I
do agree with Mo to the point where they are in a hurry to get divorced. They are in a hurry. What's that new word? Irreconcilable differences. Irreconcilable differences. They hurry up. They hurry up and get out. And I mean, it's just, you know what? Yep. I was married. I'm done now. I'm got a new one. And they move on. Whereas back in the day, your grandfather might have had 4 different affairs and nobody ever knew about it.
I'm saying it's an overcorrection. Oh, they knew, but it's an overcorrection.
Realistically, my generation.
If he had that big conversion van or El Dorado.
Realistically, my generation.
Adams, I'm just saying.
My generation is it's just so twisted. I don't know. It's so
you
twisted,
are.
I said my generation, not me. I'm 39.
You are your generation.
I'm 39. Listen, but no, seriously, it's so you just, I'm done, tired. No, you say one thing wrong, blocked, over. And I feel back in the day, y'all kind of might have put a little bit more.
And I hate to say it this way, and there is no part 2 to this conversation, by the way. We probably won't even do a meme today. But I will say, and not for the typical reasons, but social media and the internet has exasperated it, and not for the typical reason. The typical reason is because everybody broadcasts all their business and they have all this chaos. Social media has made us more susceptible to snap judgments and quick commentary, including just how we talk to each other. It used to be spaces, and there was just stuff you kept to yourself. There was stuff that man would just sort of internalize. The woman would just sort of walk through. Let me go on ahead and cook this ninja some greens and just...
I have a real question.
You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is because everything has become fingertip commentary, we have carried that over into real life where there's a lot more pettiness, a lot more snappiness and snarkiness and clap back just in everyday conversation. Nobody can swallow their pride anymore because it's too easy to just push back.
So let me tell you this. Right now, if my wife came in my face with a camera talking about, see, this is why.
Oh, yeah. I'm out.
I'm done.
I'm out.
So, and that's all y'all do.
That's the old school. Can I be clear? Yeah. That's the old school. And I've heard some old fellas say, and I won't say which one in my church said it to me. He said, you could do anything to me but call the police on me. Mm-hmm. He would say, if you call the law on me, we're done. But that's what social media is now. You put me on blast online, out.
Let me ask you a question because I've heard this before. Do you think nowadays women don't put up with enough?
We'll make sure she gets a meme. Go ahead.
Do you think nowadays women don't put up with enough? I've literally heard that before.
Women don't put up
with enough.
I don't like the phrasing of it. Yeah, but I would say that what I said earlier, neither of us have tolerance because let's just be clear here. Mm-hmm. Because men are in their feelings more or express their feelings more, and I know this is dangerous to say, but to me, some of the men have become the new women. And they're the brittle, soft ones and emotional and are not emotionally mature. And again, some of that comes from not having that blue collar, go make it happen work ethic. Mm-hmm. They come from that think about it, tell me how you feel, or blow up all the time. Or if they were raised, unfortunately, by either unhealthy mother or father.
Right.
That whole blow up all the time, cuss you out, but never actually teach or model you anything in front of you or abuse you or embarrass you and do all that stuff, but never actually model stability in front of you, then that young man is going to do that too. Whereas we, again, and we come from very different situations, but I think the ethics undergirding it are still somewhat the same, which is, bro, you go work and make it happen. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's it.
You go work and make it happen. And there's been a whole lot of dudes, including, we keep talking about the granddads, and thank you for saying that about grandmas hating granddad and then having nowhere to go, because that is very true. But there's also a lot of granddads that had snippy, won't shut up wives that just snapping, gossiping, this, that. And what they do, went to work and came home, had a beer, watched the game, went to work, came home, had a beer, watched the game, went to home, came. And that was just life. My job is to make it happen, whether I am super happy and lovey-dovey Hallmark card or not. There is a duty, and that's the word we don't talk about.
Right.
The duty that comes along with a relationship. I must work, I must cook, I must clean, I must cut grass, even if you are getting on my last nerves. And I've been through it with my wife, Shamika, and she has slapped that plate on the table, mad, chicken flying up in the air and falling back down, because she can be as ticked off as she want to be. But my job is to feed my family.
I love it. I love that.
So do you think
because we have so many people who have so many people who have a whole lot of devotion but not enough duty.
So
correct. Devotion and not duty.
We'll do all that stuff.
Emotions.
But all the emotions, but no ethics. Won't go to work for nothing.
Do you think my generation grew up seeing that and said, "Oh, that ain't gonna be me," and that's why they won't do it now?
No, they didn't grow up seeing it.
No, actually, I'm talking about my age.
And I saw it and said that ain't gonna be me.
Saying,
y'all didn't see it.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. I'm talking about your. When I say no, you didn't. I'm saying your generation.
My generation. When you think about the 30s.
Y'all
30s.
Oh, your parents lost your jobs. Y'all didn't have. I'm just saying the generation. I'm being dead serious.
Most of the people my age have seen the marriages and all that. So I'm saying, do you think they've seen it so much to the point they said this will not be me, and now that that's where it all start falling down, is because
most of your generation hasn't seen the marriages.
Really?
Yes, really.
I feel like they have. You know what year I was born?
Get online right now and ask your peers how many of you grew up in a 2-parent household for at least up through age 18.
I feel like most of them. I could be wrong, but I feel like most of them.
It ain't most of them.
I was born in 95, y'all.
I know when you was born. I'm just saying. I think. I'm
82 babies. 82 babies saw it.
So 95. That's when they started saying they wasn't no 2-parent. Okay.
95, and I'm being very local about this for those that are in other areas, but I have a theory even about areas like ours, Rust Belt cities. When we went through that massive economic crash, it shifted a lot, because easy jobs and the ease of building a house and building a home and being able to provide, I mean, from the mid 90s all the way up through the 2000s has been an absolute nightmare if you wanted to. And so that generation did not get to see many of their parents getting up and going to work, because there wasn't no work to go to. They were watching their parents go to Walmart and work and stuff like that, whereas I was watching my parents get up and go to Delphi and GM. It's a different dynamic. It really is.
So
we literally talked, I don't mean to cut you off, but we talked about it when I was working for the state, how moms and grandmas were competing with teenagers and young adults for their jobs. And that's a whole different dynamic. When you had the grown folk jobs, and then you had us going to the mall.
Yeah.
Now you'll go see the grown folk at the mall, for instance, because the economy was so bad for so long. And then the habit of going to work like dad is not there, because you didn't see dad go to work like that. Remember, most of us are first-generation college students. In my generation, first-generation college students, because our parents didn't have to go to college. We had to go to college because of what we were seeing in front of us with those jobs disappearing. So it is a dynamic.
So 1995 was not that was the year where stuff starts.
I'm just saying, in this local area, I watched.
In this area, 95 is when it started kind of transitioning. Because I was just born.
In a way, I mean,
Okay.
95. I mean, I can trace it because I'm very familiar with this area. That was the last batch of hires at Delphi, for instance. The last batch, people who are like 60 right now, were like whatever they were back then, late 30s, and honestly, and truth be told, that last batch wasn't great.
Could it also have something to do with? And I think we talked about it. I think we talked
anybody
about it
that worked there tell you. So.
I think we talked, but it could be because a lot of these women did get jobs at Delphi.
They did.
And GM, and they didn't need.
So they did it for independence?
They was. I mean, if
But
you
statistics are clear that if you have 2 people working in a job like that, your chances of having a good, independent, financially stable life are exponentially higher.
Oh yeah.
And with the economy being what it is, I mean, and thank you to Scott's point. That's a good point too. And what we're shown is different. We were raised on nuclear families, even in the media.
That's good.
I mean, we were raised on nuclear families. I mean, from Good Times to the Huxtables to Family Matters, we were raised. Every show we turned on Friday night, whatever they used to call it, every show started the same way with the dad, honey, I'm home.
But it's funny because the other day there was one of them TikTok questions where it said which father could handle our generation kids, and there was nobody who didn't say the dude from Good Times.
Oh yeah,
because he was from the hood
and he was gonna punch somebody in the mouth.
Right,
they was whooping
that
kids.
was who it was.
He was getting that belt.
By the time you came around, born in
1995.
Okay, by the time you came around, when you were 4 and 5 years old, reality TV was burgeoning, and that's all that was ever known.
That's true.
To media now.
Yeah.
That's all that was ever known, was people screaming at each other, trading and sharing. And I ain't talking about the grandma soaps. I'm talking about people who claim to be living real life.
Right.
And now we have confused, chaos.
Flavor of Love.
Right. Chaos with authenticity.
Yeah, what was the Second Chance, some of all.
And now, I mean, look at what, I feel bad for what your generation, I'm talking from Kevin Samuels to Balloon Pops to Real Housewives of whatever. Like, that is the constant churn of garbage perspectives about relationships that those of us that barely, and I'm a barely escaped type person. I barely escaped that generation. My wife and I be like, God, we're so glad that we met before Facebook. Oh, we're so glad that it was just a little miniature thing.
So do we think that, is there any way that it can start to go back?
Mike just said he got a solution.
I have the solution.
Okay, what's the solution?
The solution is arranged marriages.
Yeah, listen,
I think so.
I 100% agree with arranged marriages because there is no
Would you accept it though? I mean,
at this point, yeah, why not?
But she'll do her research.
At this point, listen, now, why not? What's the?
Well, you might as well just get on the online dating then.
No.
Some people have.
Okay, so I will listen. I will be
successfully gotten married. I've met 2, 3, 4 couples, including a pastor and I know, and his wife that met online.
People do.
It worked out.
But I can say for the first time ever, I tried the Facebook dating app and oh my God, it's horrible.
Okay, come on, Ernest.
What'd he say?
He said Mo is an AC baby and I'm a BC baby after crack and before crack. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It devastated our neighborhoods and values. We got to keep building back up. And you are absolutely right. And we keep leaving the elephant out of the room. That is very true. There was such a terrible.
So crack was the elephant in the room?
No, I'm just saying that's one of the biggest. For somebody it was. If you did enough of it, I'm just saying there really was. You tied that with the economic devastation that our country has undergone, and you tie that with the war on drugs and the breakdown of families and communities that were once proud. That is absolutely where you are. Absolutely where you are. Leah says, I'm never ever telling any young lady from daughter to soon that she is not complete without a man. There were unmarried women even back then, and they were told that something was wrong with it. And that is true.
I think...
if it's a personal desire, a person has a right to have a personal desire.
I understand what Leah's saying. Yes, we can preach.
Y'all need to go back to lunch again, because apparently it didn't work the first time.
Like, you can understand, like, you don't need a man. You can take out trash, come on, you along, blah, 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 blah. But, like... No, sis, we need men. Sorry.
And I will say, to the point about the media and social media and Real Housewives and all that, one of our problems is that we let that dominate the narrative even for ourselves. And some of us, and I meant to throw this into my sermon this morning, but it went long enough without it. But I was going to say that we have to take our,
I say about 10 minutes too long.
It did go 10 minutes too long. I went 45 instead of 35. That's what happened when the organist has to leave. I just keep talking. He's supposed to tell me when it's over. That's how this works. But anyway, I would say that we keep our eyes on too many things that really don't matter. And while we think we're just looking at it as ridiculous and dumb, it's still impacting our minds.
Right.
And so it would help if more people would just turn off. I wish Real Housewives of whatever will go out of business. I wish most of these Tyler Perry dramas and stuff would just go out of business because it's just garbage and there's no balance to it. There really is no balance.
And I agree with you, but for me, And I
I'm not saying drama
hardly
isn't
watch it. I
attractive,
hardly watch it,
but-
but for me, it's entertainment. For a lot of these folk, it's
life.
It's life.
It's
For me,
aspiration.
it's like, this is goofy. This couldn't really happen, but it's really happening.
But that's because we were raised on a more normal-centered entertainment, and now me and you are just looking at it as the antithesis to the Cosbys and it's ridiculous, but it's real life. And by the way, especially younger people, they're watching it play out in far more broke situations right in front of them in their own houses. So they're watching the Real Housewives of Houston or whatever, and then they're sitting there watching the Real Housewives of the Highland Homes at the same time. And they really do think it's normal. I'm being serious. They really do think these people are trading men in the hood the same way they are. Thank you, Leah. She said Zeus Network is ran by the Klan. I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe that there is a conspiracy.
I cannot stand Zeus Network.
I believe that there is a conspiracy between Tubi,
The Baddie
Zeus
Show.
Network,
The Baddie Show.
the baddies, all that.
Yes.
I'm saying there's a conspiracy, and to me, that's the new crack. That's
is.
the new infiltration by white corporate powers and people that want to keep us down by feeding us a steady diet of foolishness. I think they have control of bot accounts and all that stuff on Facebook, because I always have a feeling that whenever you say Russia and China and Korea is doing something to us, you best believe America's doing more of it and was doing it first. So whenever you say there's fake accounts and there's fake people making comments, don't think that those same fake accounts are not infiltrating our conversations, our debates about relationships, that dumb stuff where you see them text messages about what would you do if your baby mama got mad because she didn't feed the other kid and all that, just dumb stuff.
Your baby dad brought a pizza and the other kids.
The other people didn't get a piece of pizza. What? I mean, I really believe that is literally being infiltrated like crack into our community by certain interests.
Is back in the day, crack was for adults, but now they feeding the crack to the 5-year-old, 6-year-olds. That's with Zeus Network. I've seen people literally have birthday parties for their children, and they are imitating baddies. Why is your child
with the children,
that?
right? And Sister Johnson made a great point. She said soap operas were not normal, but secretly they were, but they weren't primetime. And to that point, soap operas played while the kids were at school.
Yeah.
That's when Victor was getting down.
Victor Newman was on that 12 o'clock.
Things, but only 12 o'clock, 12:30.
Is Victor still
God darn you, Nikki.
Hey,
God darn you, Nikki.
Let's run this ad real quick. We're an hour in.
We're an hour here. We got to run an ad.
That's what happens when you have your favorite guest back.
We lose our entire format. Everything
then
falls
we'll come
apart.
back.
We're about to lose sponsors and everything. We want to thank Nick's Events, who have everything you need to make your event unforgettable. Whether you need tents, chairs, extras, they will not only take care of the setup, but the tear down. Whether it's a graduation party, corporate events, Super Bowl, banquets, and anniversaries for churches, they cater to everybody. Call Annex Events and let them make your next celebration a hit. If you mention religiously incorrect, you'll get 10% off your first order, but probably not your second. Call Annex Events at 330-979 or visit annexevents.com. And thank you once again, Annex Events, for that's an old comment. We were talking about President Harrison not walking.
So here's my question.
Okay.
Since we're all the way into this now.
We're in there.
Mo says she wants an arranged. Can we arrange a marriage?
I tried.
I think religiously incorrect. I have a pop the balloon.
Pop the balloon episode.
Can we arrange the marriage?
All eligible suitors.
Not all.
Well, we're gonna filter them.
3 years older.
What's the age? What's the age?
At least 3 years
Put
older.
our email up.
3 years
Send your
older.
resume
So
to religiously incorrect.
skin.
Okay, so now you're putting up qualifications.
No, because it matters.
Does it matter?
I don't have children.
What if it's a hard-working light skin? What if it's a hard-working light bright? What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Hard-working DeBarge.
Light skinned brothers making a comeback.
Right?
No, Drake.
No, I am light enough. No, dark skin.
Thank you, Leah. I tried.
Fellas, send your
You started
resume.
snooping around, and it would have worked if it wasn't for these mangy kids.
Send your resumes, fellas. Send your
Send your
resumes.
resumes. Or no, even better. If you are a grandma or auntie and you've been trying to get your son or nephew.
Somebody else tried that.
Right. Give your age range, please. Give your age range.
No older than 37.
They can't be dark skinned because Tyler Perry says they'll beat you.
Dark skin. skin only. Only.
How dark? You want to
Summer
Darker
dark,
than
like
me,
a tan.
darker than me.
What if they're dark when you meet them, and then wintertime comes and you realize they were
I mean, is
We
this
might
Wesley
work it out.
Snipes dark or is
might work it out.
it Idris Elba dark?
and you gotta be
Flavor
willing.
Flav dark?
They got to go through her mom and her aunt.
gotta go through her
I hear
mom and her
that.
So
aunt.
listen, okay, I'm giving the qualifications. No,
37 years
no,
old,
they're
dark
37,
skin.
Dark skin. Gotta be willing to join Second Baptist. That's our
Oh
church.
my goodness! Now that's over. You'll be single the rest of your life.
That's our church.
Okay, this is hilarious.
They
Kids,
got to work out. Do they got to work out?
I mean, you gotta be in good health.
you don't like the chunky brothers, the teddy bears?
You gotta be in good health.
You gotta be a good.
Good health. You know what I'm saying?
Healthy.
And you gotta be willing to get married in the next 6 months.
Wow.
6 months.
All right, y'all. Thank you for watching.
Jesus.
Incorrect. Watching
6 months.
Bad time.
Can't even do marriage counseling in 6 months.
Service. I'm not doing this wedding. I know that.
No, yes, you are.
I'm not doing no.
We're gonna do our marriage
I want-
counseling right here online.
No, I want no parts of this.
Hey, look at Scott's comment.
There is a wealth of dark-skinned single-class men in Springfield, Ohio.
They eat cats and dogs.
No, they
and stuff.
don't. That was a hoax too. That was a hoax. This has gone off the rails. This has gone off the
Again,
rails.
this is what happened when you have your best guest back.
Oh God.
Are you checking credit?
Oh yes,
Can they check yours?
yes. I didn't say you're gonna like it.
Hey fellas, this is what y'all got to deal with. So for the one good guy out there that's still looking for a young lady, what's your age range again?
No older than
37.
37.
How young?
33.
So they got to be older than you, but
Yeah.
not too old.
Correct.
What if you met a really, really mature 29-year-old that had everything together?
You know, I'm 30 today, so.
I'm younger than my wife.
So you ain't backing
Are
up?
you really?
Yes.
Younger.
A little bit over a year.
Really?
Yeah, she got 14 months on me.
Oh, well, you know,
Yeah.
you always
That
say.
old cradle
you-
robber. You see how hard it is for her to walk down the aisle? You see how hard it is for her to walk?
Well, you
She's
always
like, we got to do the whole way.
Look, you said you don't like when people say this, but if my pastor did it, and you could be a year younger
Yeah,
than
you could be a year younger. You could be a year younger. It worked out for us. Worked out for us. Oh, man. Mo said they need to fill out an application with references. Absolutely. Well, we'll be praying for you. Well, send your applications in. You did have to provide a headshot? Is that what
No, nah.
Okay.
What? You sure?
Attention, I want to marry Mo.
I want to marry Mo.
Attention,
6
I want to
months
marry
or
Mo.
less.
We're going to have a Christmas wedding. Mo's going to be dressed up like the elf girl from
She gonna wear
The Grinch.
yellow. Y'all got to wear yellow
Like
to the
Cindy
wedding.
Lou
Cindy
Who.
Lou, yeah, Cindy Lou Who.
Oh yeah, yellow
This
is
is
definitely
comedy.
got to be a thing.
All right, so let's find don't take that. Shemika don't watch this show. She don't watch the show. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. The meme of the week, and then we'll close out. Let's do the meme of the week. I guess I'll set it up. I'll just call it like this. This is the meme of the week. The meme of the week is everybody deserves a miracle.
Especially in war.
Especially in one. Everybody deserves a miracle. That's what I'm calling this. Everybody deserves a miracle. Roll it, Mike.
Never said anything like this a day in my life, but God said, I'm even going to heal a cat you know.
What?
I like the organ coming around that. Time for a feline praise.
The weirdest
What is that?
He says, I'm going to heal your cat.
She feeling my my
No. Cats and war is
He said, I'm about to heal the cat by the time you get back to the house. Let me. Hallelujah. All right. I'm
Get
sorry.
back to the house. Fluffy's going to be alive.
Are you serious right now?
Well,
That was real.
And Warren cats are getting sick, so pray for him.
Well, we need to bring him here. I need to bring him here for a cat revival.
Take him to the.
No, he wasn't saying metaphor. He's saying a cat, you know. A cat, I don't know if it's a neighborhood cat. I don't know if she owns. I think she owned. Play it again. Look at the reaction on her. It obviously
she
the
have a
word.
cat?
The word must have been for her. Because look at how she swooned.
Say it.
She swooned right out. Let's
Never
play it
said
again.
anything like this a day in my life, but God said, I'm
Watch it.
even going
Now,
to
this
heal a
lady in black
cat you
and
know.
white. Started speaking in tongues.
Cats be sick, you know.
The weirdest thing I've ever
Shandara meow.
Shandana meow.
I mean,
She feeling my
Cat tongues. Not cat tongues. Leah said, I'd shout if you healed my cat. We finally got a way to get to Leah. All right. We're gonna do a cat healing service for Leah.
Are we gonna baptize the cat too?
They won't let you. If you can pull it off,
all you
God
can do
bless
is
you.
this.
I shout if my cat got healed. I gotta love it. I gotta love it. All right, so Mo, I wanna finish off with this. Mm-hmm. You said at the beginning of the show that at age 30 you would demand more respect. Mm-hmm. All right. So my question for you is, speaking on behalf of millennials, remember I talked about the ecosystem and all works together. What will you see yourself kind of settling into, locking into, doing more of? Because a part of that respect is those older ones are like, listen, I've put in the work. Mm-hmm. And I want to clarify when we say the work, because this is another problem of our generation. We think the work is you put on some good events, mm-hmm. or you ran a nonprofit, or, because we do the stuff people see, the trips. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful, running. But I think some of these older ones also say, but I've been coming to church for 40 years and tithing. I've been volunteering. I've been a present participant, not just someone running things and as a part of things. And, I'm saying for all of us, my logo on things and all that, because that's kind of somewhere where our generation sort of lands. We are not as devoted as a part of things, as an invisible contributor, as much as we are, I'm running something, leading something, promoting something. And that's all of us. Right. Where most of us are fairly silent until, and I'm saying most of us as a generation, until we're leading the way. Mm-hmm. And so I guess that's my question is, how do we pull your generation more into that quiet commitment as opposed to, outward, open, loud projects? Because, your average person will say, the reason I treat you like a child is I'm saying I've been hearing it because they're like, hey, I'm going to my pocket every single week. Mm-hmm. I'm the type of person that's attending the Bible study, or every time I'm called on, I'm there. It's not just the event tentpole pillar stuff. And that goes for all of us. Right. And as a pastor, obviously I don't have a choice. But as a lay member, for instance, or just a member of a community, where do you see that landing for your generation, and how can we increase that?
I think for starters, the real work outside of like the public stuff, like you said, is what does that look like to bring all these groups together?
But I'm not talking about groups.
But I'm saying, like, when you bring these people together, like, what does that look like? For me, that's the real work, is when you can start getting these older organizations, groups, and you said you're not talking about that, but that's where my mind goes, is
I get it.
Bringing them together and reestablishing what they are. You can be a private person. You don't have to be like out in the open that you're doing it, but I think that's where the real work starts. Right. And I think that just because, well, naturally you've been paying tithes for 40 years, you're how much older? You're 60 years older than me. So I've been paying them for a lot less years than you because I'm only 30.
I respect that. I get that. But I'm saying, but there aren't as many as you.
Right. So what does it look like to bring those people in?
To just become regular people.
How do we bring your generation in to be regular, quiet, consistent contributors? Yeah. That same sense of duty we talk about, relationships and households, how do we bring that into our world, our community? Not just the people that show up to a football game or say they ran the camp or, want to be the next generation of leaders in the whatever organization. I'm saying, and I'm speaking specifically as a pastor. Let's talk exclusively about church here. How do we get more people that would just be willing to be in the pews because they see the value of themselves being there and they see it as an investment and a contribution to the bigger whole? That's what I'm saying. Not how do I get more butts and seats to make me look good, but how do they see the value of just the presence and yes, the giving and all that other stuff, participation. How do we build that up in the millennial generation?
This is the first time I'm going to say this, but I don't know.
Okay.
I really sincerely...
We've defeated Mo. Glad to see you guys.
Honestly, my generation is just so different They're different. So it's not like you can say, hey, we need to start doing this to bring them in, or we need to start doing that, because it's like they don't even know what they want themselves.
And I'll be honest, I think that Jeff and I can probably speak from the same perspective, and a lot of pastors would agree with us. The whole you need to do this or do that to bring them in might bring them in, but they never become truly a part.
Right.
Closing the back door on ministry has become very difficult. And I know, obviously from watching you, and I know you from watching me, I've got a great group of people who have come in just this year.
We've had our share of people coming in.
Our share of coming in. And so keeping them there, and especially this generation, and because, even church is different now. Churches that we don't have all the functions that we had back in the day that they had.
Church is a good
and it would seem like it would be a good different, because that everybody always talked about how we couldn't stand going to church 6 and 7 days a week.
Right.
And now we might go 2 days a week.
Maybe.
I feel like church is a good different, because let me just give you a small example.
Good different?
A good different.
Okay,
I'll just give you a real quick
idea.
small example. But so when I was younger, if you miss a Sunday, you literally you feel convicted. You don't want to see your pastor because you feel so bad about not going. And so this one day I missed church on Sunday, and then I pulled up to a store and I seen Pastor Tall, and I ducked down because I was like, oh my God, he's gonna see me, and I wasn't in church. And but then when I see him,
should. No, I'm joking.
When I see him after the fact, though, it was such a normal feeling. It didn't feel like, oh my gosh, you're convicted. You weren't in church. How dare you not be in church? But I feel like back in the day, from what I seen,
now, is that a good or bad thing though? Because people aren't convicted now, they don't feel. Because they're not convicted, they feel comfortable not doing.
Well, yes, but for me, who I am, it was a good thing, because I felt, I can just come back the next Sunday and it's no problem, and it's not gonna be, you're not gonna preach about me and talk to me out in the crowd. Versus back in the day, it's like, you miss church? Oh no, you don't want to see your pastor. Nope, not at all.
So Mo.
Yes.
I know you can't speak for your whole generation, but
Right.
She has been all night, but okay.
in general, where is your generation spiritually?
They don't. Spiritually, I feel like they go with the flow, the trees and the skies and the moon. They don't really know what they are spiritually. They don't know where they're at spiritually. They just go what feels good to them. It's not really an actual belief system anymore. It's just like, you know what?
I'm gonna give a different answer.
You can. Go ahead.
I think they're not doing the work to be what they say they are.
Okay.
Because most of them still claim to believe in God, and many still claim to believe in Jesus, but they're not doing the work and holding the commitments that allow them to clarify what exactly that means and what's required of them.
I think most of them believe in a higher power without putting a name on
Most
it.
black folk, I think, still believe in God as we traditionally understand it. They have a lot of questions about it, and they'll challenge things that we were taught. But I think a lot of their kind of center is still there. But because, like you said, the functions, the lack of devotion. And I'll plug my book, because there was a phrase I put in the introduction of my book. I'll plug the book because there was a phrase I put in the introduction, which is that we live in an age with a covenant deficiency. And so when you talk about the lack of commitment in relationships, like I said, it's an ecosystem, a lack of commitment to community, to faith centers, to households, to jobs. It all works together. We're just a very transient people, and we're not willing to do the work that would produce what we say we want to see. We're not doing the work to produce it. I put something in my notes. You'll probably see it online later. I said, you're not serious about buying up the block until you're first serious about respecting and protecting the block. Why say you want to buy up property and have all this if you won't even turn your radio down for your elderly neighbor? If you won't do that, then the whole idea of, buying up and building prosperity for generations is bunk. Right. To be honest, it really is bunk. And I feel that about everything. We all want the churches to be this. We want relationships to be this. We want economics to be this. But we're not devoted at the base level to make it, and we don't see the value of it. I would say it would take a group of people, regardless of style, because a lot of people say change the style and the aesthetics and all that. But to me, if you will go drink in a hole and party in a dive bar.
Absolutely.
Then don't come telling me that I got to have $1 million budget for my sound system at the church to attract you when you got DJ so-and-so with house speakers from 1989 rocking the party for you. So that's what I'm saying. So I just feel like it does come down to the willingness to do the work. There are, I've mentioned on the show before, I think, there's a Netflix documentary called Join or Die. And it's literally about the death of organizational loyalty across the board.
I don't think my generation believes in church as a whole.
I don't think they believe in loyalty to a collective effort.
Yeah.
As a whole. Again, if me and my buddies put together a football camp, I'm committed to that. If me and my friends say we want to do a project, get a grant, and take kids to DC, we're committed to that. We are. But if somebody says, just come be a part of this and come to this regular meeting and pay dues and buy the banquet ticket and just be a member on the roll, that, by the way, creates this critical mass that you don't realize that by having that name on there, and we have 400 names, members of the Urban League or members of XBC Church or whatever, that's actually a huge difference, more than 5 of you getting a $20,000 grant doing a project.
Right.
So we don't get that concept.
I still think it goes back to social media and the fact that everybody on social, they listen. This is what they listen to. This is what they watch. And so if somebody says something negative, that's before we didn't have social media to depend on. We had mama and grandma telling us you need to go to church.
And we didn't have social media to perform for.
And we didn't have, and so one like or one post that says that all pastors are fake and all they want is money did not.
But is that not the same cop-out as what she just said about you intimidate me if you're a woman that has no kids and wants your own? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's a cop-out.
I believe it's a cop-out.
I don't think people actually believe that. And if they really did, they as bold as our generation is, they just say it to our faces every 2 minutes, if they really believed it. I think it's a cop-out. It's easy, low-hanging fruit, so to speak.
Like, it's easy to just blame it on.
It's literally like a cliche at this point. You know what I mean? It's like cliche. But Aaliyah made a good point. We're not better off having left church as a collective. And I didn't grow up in church. I didn't used to think this. I do, and I'm glad that you do. I would say that...
Oh, yeah, they need to get these kids back in church.
And I would say that maybe I would think different if I watched a generation who decided not to be a part of the church and to have these other beliefs sink their teeth into something else. Mm-hmm. If something really did grow. Like if we had less churches and more mosques, and a lot of these young men were living these disciplined lives because they've been going to the mosque, I'd be like, what do you know? They really are. But we didn't went through the whole Malcolm X phase. We didn't went through all Million Man March phase. We didn't been through all that stuff. And we're still wilding out. So it's not just, and I hate to say it like this, I know it is religiously incorrect, so here goes. It's not just these folk need Jesus. It really is not. As a whole, because I'm wise enough to know that everybody's not going to be with Jesus, and everybody wasn't always with Jesus.
Right.
But they knew that they needed to be with something. And a lot of people even treated church like a casual, but still a reverential thing. Even if I wasn't that serious about God, I knew I needed to go, or the Masons, or the fraternity, or whatever. I went because I knew it bettered myself and my community, and it helped contribute to us. We just don't think that way anymore. So we abandoned it, thank you, and didn't replace it with anything. If the numbers on the Prince Halls went way up and the numbers on other things went way up and we were seeing people participating in something, their money going into something, I might be a little envious of it.
Right.
But I would have to acknowledge that if it's helping a brother be a better brother and a family be a better family, then so be it. But all we got is a bunch of folk chasing sports dreams and AAU and craziness and, social media trips and all this other stuff, and not any actual life-affirming community-building activities that require consistent and continual engagement.
It's the microwave world.
Yeah.
It's the real quick.
Absolutely.
I mean, everybody wants to be a social influencer. What is it? Influencer?
Content creator.
Content creator, influencer.
All you got to do is sit around and hold your phone.
But we don't know, to your point about marching, and maybe that's what soured me on marching, is that if we can't do the simple things, why do these big displays? If we can't sit in a room together, and to most point, young and old, get the groups together. But even as a generation, sometimes I look to a generation that can see everything wrong with what older generations haven't done, but cannot seem to find the energy and strength and commitment to implement anything themselves that looks different.
Right.
And so that would be my challenge to younger people, is that even if it's not under the auspices of old models, create something. And that's a great question, President Harrison. Is there a clear understanding of community?
Most people don't know it.
Going back to what Ernest said, Mr. Bynum, that ACBC after crack, before crack, that's the brokenness of community. It became every man for himself. It became a game of scarcity. at least when folks had something, they was jealous of folks that had something.
Right.
Now we're just jealous of the chaos across the street.
Literally.
You know what I mean? Like we're literally jealous of the dysfunction that somebody else has because it just looks different than ours. Whereas we used to be jealous of the guy driving the Cadillac in a 2-car garage house in Cortland or in the suburbs. Now we're just jealous that you bought a bigger bottle than I did at the club.
Yeah.
You know, or you got more likes than me.
Yeah.
You went viral and I didn't. And so there has to be a clear understanding of community. And I think we have to recapture that as a people. And thank you, Sister Janet. There was a time when church was a status symbol. And it's so the funny thing is, I'm looking at everything we called toxic once upon a time and realizing that it was better than what we're doing now.
It is.
That's just my take. There are some people who don't believe that, but my take is I'd rather you do the fashion show in church. I'd rather you do the fashion show in church. If that's where you're going to do it at, I'd rather you do it in church. Because you're spending $600 on a t-shirt to go get drunk, fight in the parking lot in your Gucci shirt. What are we doing? What are we doing? You know what I mean? So I just feel like that's something y'all got to capture because we can't capture it for you.
It's just a sad time. Sad generation.
Well, it's your generation.
It's a sad one.
Y'all the sad generation. Generation sad.
That's what it should be
When
called.
you get married, you can change it all.
You can change it all.
As soon as I do pop the balloon.
You and your power play.
You and your 30 year powers.
Don't forget to send your resumes, brothers, to religiously incorrect
Well, hey,
podcast@gmail.com.
before we leave, we have to sing happy birthday.
Y'all
tomorrow.
do.
Do we?
Yes.
Yeah,
I kind
we do.
of.
I cannot believe
I heard that y'all harmonized and everything.
we did. We ain't ready. Wow. Mike ain't safe. Coach Mike ain't safe. All right, so who started that since it's your idea, Coach Mike? So let's go, man.
Happy birthday.
Oh, that one. Ooh, yeah. Happy birthday to ya.
Happy birthday. Happy.
Wait.
Happy birthday, Mo. We love you.
I pay tithes at your church. What you mean? I see.
We in the church. Start paying tithes religiously incorrect, and we'll have a better conversation. This is a whole different church. This is a whole different church. No, we do appreciate Mo being with us. We had a good time. You
Thank
took
you
our
for having
conversation
me.
Birthday.
in a lot of ways, doing great things. Make sure you look out for her next slate of events and
look out for me being back here.
She'll be over there behind the table, Mike. You can take that chair with you, just put it in the back of your car, take it home. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Keep watching Religiously Incorrect Podcast. We can't wait to share in our next subject. You got something you want us to talk about, something that we haven't touched on in a while, be sure to shoot us an inbox or a message or a comment, and we'll keep up. Jeff, any last words?
We're going to talk about Epstein next week.
Oh, Lord.
Keep on talking about it till we get it fixed.
I have another Norm Macdonald joke.
Oh, Lord. Go ahead real quick.
No.
Norm said, I really feel bad for the homeless guy. He says, but I feel more bad for the homeless guy's dog. Because he must be thinking, wow, this is the world's longest walk.
Oh, geez. Bye,
That's
y'all.
not funny.
Bye, y'all. See y'all next week.
I'll be here all week. Take
Peace.
care.